In this video, we're going to talk about spreadsheets. I did leave a space between my title and the first example because I wanted to kind of write some stuff down. So there are two basic types of spreadsheets. There's Google Sheets, which is free and can be accessed anywhere. All you need is a Gmail account. If for some reason you don't have a Gmail account, you can make one for free. And if you want to work on Google Sheets in this class, I set it up so that you can do both Google Sheets or Excel. So I would go ahead and pause the video and get yourself a Gmail account. If you would like to do that, if you have a Gmail account, great. You can use Google Sheets right off the bat. Excel, of course, is a very common and popular way. A lot of companies have Excel, so it's good to know how to use that. If you choose to use Excel, that's great. If you don't have Excel, you can access Excel through the school. Most schools, by the way, have that, but so does ours. I was going to spell the word the through the school. Oops, there we go. Sorry, it was like glitching out there for a sec. Okay, through the school. And I'm pretty sure you can access it through email. I know I can access mine through my email if I didn't have that already on my computer. So I believe that's how it works. So if I'm wrong, if it's not an option, contact the school. They will be happy to step you through that. Okay, but I'll let you use whichever approach you want. What's really cool though is everything we're going to do today is exactly the same in both. So I will use both. I'll do one example where I work with Google Sheets, and then the next example I'll work with Excel. And you can choose whichever you want to work with. I don't care. But I would encourage you to open one of them up and work with me through it. Okay, so we're going to do this example. And if you want to pause the video to write it down, that's great. But we're going to talk about how to actually input this into our spreadsheet and then go do that and find the answers. Okay. So first thing, when you input anything into the spreadsheet that you want it to actually calculate, you need to start it with an equal sign. That indicates that you are asking for a calculation. So if I want to add 3,517, I need to put equals 3,517 plus 4,231. That's how I'll enter that into the spreadsheet. Same with subtraction. So we're going to subtract 76 from 92. So we'll start with 92 minus 76, and we put that equal sign. For multiplication, you'll use the asterisk. Sorry, I'm having trouble writing the equal sign. Let's try that again. Okay, 4, and then asterisk, which is the little star symbol that is above the 8 on your keyboard. So you'll hit Shift 8, and that will be the asterisk symbol. So 4 times 18 will look like that. Here, I want to make a note. So here we're going to make a couple notes. So note 1, the asterisk, which is Shift 8, is used for multiply. Great. Okay. I did also want to note that parenthesis is not recognized by either for multiplication. Okay, so second note, parenthesis is not used for multiplication. But it is used for order of operations. So if I wanted to do something like, here, let me write an example, like 4 times 11 minus 18, something like that. I want to enter that into the spreadsheet. I would put 4 asterisk parentheses 11 minus 18, letting the computer know that you would like to do the 11 minus 18 first and then times that result by 4. But you will have to include the asterisk. The parentheses will mean the order of operation. Okay, for division, we will use the backslash symbol. So that slash, which is next to the shift button, that'll get used for division. And then for exponents, we're going to use the caret symbol, which is above the 6. So you have to hit shift 6. It looks like an upside down V. So that's the caret symbol. And that will do an exponent. Okay, so I actually want to go ahead and take all of these and let's enter them in. And sorry, I'm attaching my keyboard. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Google Sheets. That way you have a chance to kind of see how that works. So if you haven't done Google Sheets before, just go to Google. You need your Gmail already signed in. I'm in my Gmail right now. And if you go to these little dots right here, these 9 dots, and if you need to set up your Gmail, go for it. Just pause the video and then resume. If you scroll down right here, Sheets, you can go ahead and select that. And then blank spreadsheet, I'm going to select that. And here we go. We're ready to start. Sometimes Google Sheets, yeah, there we go. Sometimes does these little pop-ups at the start because, I don't know, they want to advertise stuff. I hit delete and just get rid of that first thing. And I'm going to go ahead and start entering my information. So first thing we wanted to find was, oh, there it is, tables. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, was 3,517 plus 4,231. Notice I have my equals. And right there, you see kind of hovering above my box. That's the answer. They're already giving me the answer. And if I hit enter, it goes ahead and just assigns that answer to the box because it did the calculation. But if I arrow up back to the box right here above in this little bar above the whole spreadsheet, shows me what the formula was entered for that box. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next cell here, and I'm going to enter 92 minus 76. Don't forget the equal sign. Equals, okay, so 4, and then shift 8 will give me the times symbol, and then 18 equals, and then equals 0.5 divided by 12. Enter. There we go. Got a decimal. And then the last one equals 25. And then the raised to button is shift 6. There's the caret symbol. That's what that's called. And then I'm going to raise it to the 5. And there we go. So there are our answers. I'm going to write them down so that I can go back to the sheet and write them down. 976. Cool. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch back over and input my answers here in my final column. All right. So the answer to the first one was 39 was 39,000 448. The next one was 16. And then we had 72, followed by, now here I'm going to round. So it was 0.41, and then it was 6 repeating, and eventually they rounded to 7. So I'll put 0.4167. That's reasonable. I know you can use the bar to represent a repeating number, but that's very rare we do that. Typically, we like to have a decimal if we have to put it down. Okay, and then the last number, I think it was 9,765,625. There we go. All right. So those are just basic calculations on a spreadsheet, kind of going through how those spreadsheets do the information, how you can kind of use it for this. All right. Now, what I'm interested in doing is showing kind of really where spreadsheets are powerful. And where they're powerful is when we're actually using generalized formulas. So a generalized formula uses what they call reference cells. So every cell on our spreadsheet is labeled with a column and a row. The columns use letters, the rows use numbers, okay? And those are reference cells. So in fact, if you were to go right now and look at our spreadsheet, the number 16 is in the cell A2, okay? So for example, in our above information, 16 is in the cell A2, all right? Okay, so we can use generalized formulas in reference cells to kind of allow Excel to do the work for us. All right, let me give you an example. Let's say I am interested in calculating the tip. Let's do an 18% tip on the bill of $35. Okay, let's use Excel to do this. All right, let's write down what that's going to look like. And I'm going to use Excel right now. I'm going to switch to Excel, but you can use Google Sheets if you want. So I'm going to put equals. Okay, so a tip, or percent, I should say, we need to first go ahead and convert it into decimal form. So the decimal right now is behind the 18. I need to move it twice, and that would be 0.18. So we always move the decimal twice because percentages are always out of 100. Okay, so I'm going to times that decimal by 35. I'm not going to put the 0.00. I could put 35.00, but I don't need to. I understand. Okay, and that is what I could enter into Excel. All right, so what though? Let's say as a follow-up. So we'll call it part B. Suppose I want to calculate the tip on not just $35, but $40 and $45. And I want to keep doing this all the way out, sorry, until it's the sloppiest there we go. Fixed all the way out to $70. Okay. I'm interested in figuring out all of the tips on all of those amounts. Okay. So rather than just re-enter this over and over again, we're going to use the spreadsheet to help us set that up and do the calculations for us. Now, Google Sheets is really intuitive, and it kind of asks a lot of questions about, hey, it looks like you might want to calculate all of these. So just be aware, it's kind of nifty. Excel isn't as intuitive, but it does just as good of a job. Okay, so here I'm sharing my Excel document now, and I want to calculate 18% tip on $35. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create two columns. I'm going to call the first one the bill, and the second one is going to be the tip. So on $35, I would like to calculate what the tip is. Okay, so according to what we just said, we would do equals 0.18 times 35. Great. Okay, so it calculated that for me. But here's how I could use the cell reference to do this calculation instead. So instead of actually writing times 35, I'm instead, I'm going to go ahead and delete that, going to write 0.18 times, and then I'm going to click on the cell 35, which happens to be A2. All right. I could type A2, by the way, and it'll calculate for that same thing. It's just going to use 35, which happens to be in A2, which means, by the way, if I wanted to, I could now change this cell to any amount I want. So if I wanted to do 55 and hit enter, it recalculates the tip now for that amount. Okay, but let's go back to 35 because that was what the problem asked for. So 6.3 or $6.30 would be the tip on, or an 18% tip on $35 bill. Okay, but they wanted me to go ahead and calculate it for 40 and 45, and they wanted me to keep following that pattern all the way out to 70. So basically they're going by fives. Okay, so if I put 40 in the next column, now here's what's kind of cool. I'm going to come back up to 35, and I'm going to highlight these two columns. And what's really cool is the spreadsheets recognize the pattern that I've added 5, And therefore, I'd like to keep that pattern going. So this little square in the corner of the box on Google Sheets, it's a dot. I'm going to pull this down and see how it's telling me going by fives. That would land me at 70. I'm just going to hit enter. Oops. Sorry, I made a mistake. Try that again. I think I clicked something by accident when that box popped up. All the way to 70. There it is. Yeah, I accidentally clicked something on the box. Okay, my apologies. There we go. Yay. So it automatically just kind of kept the pattern going for me. It understood what I was trying to do. That works for this as well. Oh, stop. Sorry. So if I click on this box and I hit Control C, which is copy, by the way, which you could also right click and do copy if you want. I can just paste that and it'll calculate the tips for the rest. When I paste, by the way, in Excel, I just highlighted all of those boxes and hit enter. I didn't even have to hit any like paste or anything like that. And that's it. That's the power of Excel. And you can see when I hover over this particular cell here, 8.1, it tells me that the formula was 0.18 times A4. And what's A4? Well, A4 is 45. Okay. And that's what's kind of cool is the spreadsheets allows you to do these kind of formulas and calculations very quickly and not having to take as long as it might be doing it by hand. And there you go.